Welcome back to another one of my videos. In today's episode, we're going to be watching my first time ever going up at an open mic. That was a little over 2.5 years ago. This wasn't a great set. This was in an open mic in a room full of comedians. I don't think there were any crowd members there. There were maybe 25 other comedians that went up before me on this night, and none of them got laughs. I mean, there was probably one or two people that were funny and got laughs, but the majority of the night it was just dead silence. You could hear crickets if there were crickets there. They should have added that as some background noise or something, because it was just dead silence and just bombs after bombs. And I was one of those bombs. My set sounds better than it actually was because someone I was in the stand-up class I took recorded that video. And so my friends in that class were chuckling at the table. That doesn't show how my set actually was. There weren't actual laughs.
One time I was with my family and we were eating lunch and we were sitting on rocks. They weren't comfortable rocks, even with my fat ass. And I felt something hit me in the back of my head. And I thought my brother was trying to start something, throwing rocks at me. And then my parents started laughing at me. And then I realized the bird took a Mondo Duke on my head, and I was not very happy. But luckily, my mom had some wet wipes. There's another time I was in a square with tons of pigeons, way too many pigeons. And my knees were weak, arms were heavy, there was vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. Sorry, I lost myself for a little bit. And something I learned about pigeons is when there's pigeons, there's always going to be a pickpocket nearby because population density. And what I do to deal with pickpocketers, I just walk around with a lead pipe in my sock, and I have open Ziploc bags of ground beef in both of my pockets, just in case they're hungry and want a snack, or a handful of meat. And there's another incident with birds, and it happened 7:15 in the morning in school. The window was open, and it was spring, and so the bird flew in, and all I could hear was screaming. And then I looked around and I saw no one else was screaming, so I closed my mouth. And after it finally got out of the room, 10 minutes later, when my teacher was teaching, I guess, I looked down at my packet and I realized there was bird poop on my paper. So I raised my hand, trying to act like I was following along, and I was like, teacher, can I get a new packet? There's poop on mine. And I'm the kind of person that mixes up words a lot. When I was younger, I would tell people I was amphibious when I could color with both hands. And then I got tossed in the pool by some people, and I could not breathe underwater. It was not fun. There was another incident of this. It was at my brother's engagement party. I said he and his fiance should have a shotgun wedding in front of everyone's families. But I thought it was just a theme, like divorce. I'm AndrewGlontz, that's all I got.
That was a rough watch, especially for me, because I've had to watch that multiple times recently, and it doesn't get better. I mean, it wasn't bad for a first time on stage. I'm sure everyone in the room was happy I didn't run the light. I did 2 less minutes of material than I had up there, so I saved everyone 2 minutes that night. And that's also the reason I try to go up with a set list every time I do an open mic, just so I have enough jokes in my back pocket that I can just look at and remember up there. But something you could see very clearly in that set, I was visibly nervous, and I wasn't in my ideal cadence for my jokes. I sped it up too much. I was speaking quicker than usual. And I also didn't sit in the pauses long enough after my punchlines. I'm not saying that would have made me get more laughs. That just would have made it sound like I wasn't so nervous up there. Also, one thing, That didn't happen the night this set was recorded, but it happened the second open mic set I did. I met someone who told me it's gonna take you like over a year to at least be funny. It's gonna take you a while to get good. And he was like, that's either gonna be the best words you've heard or that's gonna crush you. And thankfully I wasn't too happy with my performance at the moment doing stand-up. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy into that it takes a while. So I have an excuse for not being funny at this stage. It's always nice having an excuse in your back pocket. I also like get what that comic was saying, just because you have to be comfortable enough on stage to be present in the moment to have a very solid set. Like, I feel like it's hard to have a good set if you're just up there trying to recite your jokes. And I feel like it takes just a year, I guess, in that comedian's mind, or it just takes a while to get the comfort to be able to tell a good joke in a way that'll make someone laugh. Because you could have a good idea, you could have a good punchline, but if you don't sell your joke, it's not going to be funny. Unless it's one of the best written jokes ever. Then it'll work. I feel like you just got to sell the jokes. And that said, you could very clearly see I did not sell the jokes well. Because in the showcase for that class I took, I posted some footage in a previous video, but it was a room of 80 people. And I delivered it with more confidence, and it worked. Like, the confidence didn't matter in that room, but once I started to feel myself a little bit on stage, that's when I was like, oh, I'm a really crush now. And that happened. That showcase was a 5-minute set, and I did 5 minutes of material, and it got stretched to 9 minutes because of laughs. I've never experienced anything like that since. It was absurd. But this set was done before that point, so I didn't even have that confidence. So that was just ripping off the Band-Aid, which you need to do if you want to pursue something. If you're worried about starting it, just start it and keep doing it for a little bit before you decide you don't want to do it. Because if you're just sitting there waiting to start something, you're wasting time by just not trying it out for a little bit and then just deciding if it's something you want to do or not. If it's not, try something else out. That's all I have for today's video. If you're still watching, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, if you commented something, if you subscribe. And one last thing, Irish goodbye.